It's 9 o'clock, you're watching Sunrise. Our top story, Britain under... Hello, good morning, you're watching Sunrise here on Sky News. I'm Sarah J. Mee. We start with a warning from the organisation that guards the UK from cyber attacks. It is saying that it's almost inevitable that the country will be hit by a life-threatening incident. This is because of a dramatic increase in the number of cyber attacks. Well, the National Cybersecurity Centre added that it believes the majority of these attacks can be traced to hostile nation states. Let's speak to our technology correspondent about this. He is Roland Manthorpe. He is in central London for us this morning. So this is rather an alarming warning, Roland. Just how worried should we be? OK, Roland Manthorpe in central London for us this morning. Thank you. That's about our top story and cyber security, a rather worrying report out today. Also this morning, the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in Saudi Arabia to meet with King Salman. This is over the case of the missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Mr. Khashoggi, who is a leading critic of the country's crown prince, vanished after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul 2 weeks ago. Well, Turkish officials believe he was murdered there, and last night police searched the consulate building. President Trump, meanwhile, has speculated that rogue killers could be responsible. Let's speak to Dominic now. He is still in Riyadh for us following this story. And Dominic, Mike Pompeo has touched down. What are the key questions he'll be asking today? For us, thank you very much. More from Dominic throughout the day. Now, today is going to be another difficult day for the Prime Minister. The remaining 27 EU countries, they are meeting to discuss Brexit in Luxembourg later on today. She's also going to face challenges to her Brexit plan this morning from a number of senior ministers at today's cabinet meeting that is taking place this morning. And there was a secret meeting last night of around 8 members of her cabinet. We caught up with 2 of the ministers involved in that meeting this morning. Andrea Leadsom there, who is believed to have hosted that meeting of cabinet members last night. Let's get reaction to all of this. In a moment, we'll be hearing from our Foreign Affairs editor, Deborah Haynes. She's in Luxembourg for us this morning, where those 27 EU leaders will be meeting. But right now, let's go to Westminster. Sunrise's political correspondent, Tamara Cohen, is there for us. And what more do we know about this secret meeting last night, Tamara, of cabinet ministers? It was held over pizza. All sounds quite in Downing Street for us this morning. Thank you very much. Let's join Deborah Haynes, who's in Luxembourg for us. And Deborah, those 27 EU leaders meeting today to discuss Brexit. What's on the agenda? Because at the moment, from the UK's point of view, it seems to have come to a shuddering halt. Haynes following developments in Luxembourg for us this morning, and Tamara Cohen in Downing Street, where that cabinet meeting is taking place. Thank you for the moment. Just a quick reminder that Sky News is campaigning for an independent commission for leaders' debates at general elections. If you want to join the campaign, you can sign the petition by going to skynews.com/makedebateshappen. It will take you straight to the page. You can support the campaign on social media using the hashtag #MakeDebatesHappen. So far, over 38,000 of you have signed that petition. It needs to reach 100,000 signatures to be considered for debate in Parliament. That's how you can get involved. Now, today there are claims of serious sexual harassment and bullying in Westminster. Neil has more on that for you. Now, 25 years ago, our next guest was a young cub reporter working for a British tabloid with grand aspirations. He was on one of those press junkets out in LA. This is Sasha Gervasi. And during that junket, he conducted what he now says is one of his most memorable interviews. The subject, Hervé Villechaize, otherwise known as Nick Nack from Bond's Man with a Golden Gun. That meeting was to be the actor's last. Well, now Sasha has turned that meeting into a new drama, My Dinner with Hervé. Let's take a quick look. Well, Hervé, they're played by Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, and Sasha, played by Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades.
May I just say, before we say anything, may I just start with the fact that the bloke from Tears for Fears was unavailable. And I had to go with Dornan. And you've got to make it work. I had to work with Dornan. No, he was brilliant, yeah.
Sasha, tell me why this was your most memorable interview.
I mean, I think he'd been in Man with the Golden Gun, as you mentioned. It was meant to be a, don't judge me, don't turn me into a punchline. I'm a real human being, and why don't you pay attention to that? And I ended up spending 3 days with him over the next week, and we had this, what was meant to be a very short piece. And I didn't really understand, and I got a call from his girlfriend, Kathy, who I'd met during our encounters in LA.
That about his life story. I mean, this was a complicated...
I mean, you know, remember, he grew up in an era which was...
It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously you've got Peter Dinklage playing him in the dramatisation of your encounter. And that is an actor that shows how far we have come on in the representation of difference on screen. This is a man, you know, who dominated our screens on Game of Thrones, is now in big blockbuster movies as well. So it just shows how far attitudes have come.
You're absolutely...
Well, it's an incredible tale, and people can now see it on their screens at a meeting. And we should just say good morning to our LA viewers, because you now live in LA.
This was in the middle of one of your showbiz parties.
No, not at all. Yes, we tear away from our sort of Tom Hanks barbecue event. We'll say you have many, many fans in LA.
Oh, well, Sasha, that is good to hear. You are welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much. I'll do coffees as well.
Sasha Gervasi there, my dinner with Hervé. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
From dinner with Hervé to breakfast with Jackie. Here she is with the sport. Time for a look at the sport. Here's Jackie. Everybody else was running from the building. Keep delivering the news, yeah. Presenters, tenner penny. There's loads of us here at Sky News. We are 24/7. Jackie, thank you very much. We've been talking about this story this morning, front page of the Daily Telegraph. Ageism. Should it be classed as a hate crime? The Home Secretary, Sajid Javid, is putting forward proposals to see ageism and sexism classed as a hate crime, putting it on a par with racism. And you've been getting in touch to let us know what you think.
Yeah, and those of you that have are not very pleased with it. Chris Steele is an example. Another move by a nanny state. For God's sake, Britain, get a grip. Let the police deal with real crimes and people stop being offended so easily. 00 negative, hate is the key word here, and as such neither, they're also looking at misogyny as well as ageism, as such neither fall into that category of crime. And Graham Wetton, who many of you will know from his regular appearances on the channel as our police expert, says this: yet another crime to be investigated by overstretched police service. How will they prove this? Who reports the allegation? Open to misinterpretation and people reporting this just because they can. Not 100% support, I would say.
No. News at sky.com for your views on that. Right now, though, let's get a check on the weather. Here's Naz. Hello, welcome back to Sunrise here on Sky News. We've been talking about hate crime. We were talking about that just before the break. Suggestions from the Home Secretary that ageism and misogyny could be classed as a hate crime. That is currently up for review. It's estimated that up to 1 million elderly people have been suffering different forms of abuse every year. This proposal is part of a package of measures. As I said, misogyny could be there, and the abuse of subcultures, people who identify as punks or goths. That's up for discussion as well. You've been letting us know your views. But Ian Woods is here with us now because, Ian, the police have released some hate crime figures showing what's been happening in the last year when it comes to recording these types of crimes.
Yeah, the headline figure is that hate crime is up 17% in England and Wales compared to last year. But last year there was an increase of 29%, a very big increase indeed. So it's still showing a very much an upward trend. Last year's figures and so forth. So this year there's no particular reason for the spikes. They are able to record of these because they're all recorded by the police on a daily basis. You can see where spikes occur. I haven't had a racial hatred. 12% of them were to do with sexual orientation, and 9% religious hate.
Is there a kind of a catch-all definition for what hate crime is? I mean, the number of goths could be reclassified as hate crime.
For example, I and a Sikh colleague had an argument at work, and I hit that don't like somebody.
OK, well, having heard that, let us know what you think. Do you think ageism, misogyny, misandry should be included in the definition of hate crime? News at sky.com. Ian, thank you very much. Now, a robot named Pepper will become the first of her kind to appear before a parliamentary select committee today. Pepper is going to give pre-programmed answers on artificial intelligence, robotics, and the fourth industrial revolution. Well, there you go. That is Pepper, who will be appearing later. This morning we're asking, is it a slippery slope? Will robots eventually replace humans? Joining me to discuss that now, AI scientist Dr. Emma Byrne and the author Timandra Harkness. Timandra, I'll come to you first. Pepper the robot appearing today to give evidence. She will give a presentation and then deliver pre-prepared answers. And therein lies the rub in this issue. They are pre-prepared. You can't question her like a human, can you?
Well, no, exactly. It's obviously a gimmick, and it's...
But do we need to adapt to survive here as employees? Because we were talking a lot about climate change earlier in the week and how the green economy, if switching to greener energies is going to make some traditional energy jobs redundant, people can be retrained in the green economy, and there are millions of jobs on offer. If some traditional, for example, manufacturing jobs are going to be made redundant, is there room for humans to retrain and learn more about AI and contribute that way? Well, I was reading an article in one of the papers today about a world first, 2 surgeons using robotic arms to carry out surgery. So it's about robotic performances when it comes to politics and giving evidence, etc., etc. I'll let you do that. We couldn't possibly do that, could we, Neil?
Should we talk babies?
Let's talk babies.
Let's talk.
Yeah, just the 76 engagements for the royal couple, and Rhiannon as well. She's going to have to go to every single one.
Yeah, still in Australia, though.
Oh, yeah. Diamond shoes are too tight. Right, still to come here on Sunday. Now, our next guest works tirelessly to ensure thousands upon thousands of children across the UK have a healthy, hearty breakfast to start their school day, winning the campaigner category. Good morning to you, Carmel.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Pleasure. Breakfast, your favourite time of the day. We've spoken to you before about the Magic Breakfast, but explain to us how it all started and what led you to this point.
One, and they said, well, Carmel, we're all bringing in food every single day just to be able to teach. And we've got 500,000 children going to school hungry in England, about 220,000 in Scotland, about 80,000 in Northern Ireland. Don't know the figure. That this crazy thing, you know, a hungry child can't concentrate. You've got the most important lessons in the morning. So it went from 5 schools to 25 to 100. Lovely people like Quaker came along and helped us, and other big companies.
Well, your background...
That this crazy thing, you know, a hungry child can't concentrate. You've got the most important lessons in the morning. So it went from 5 schools to 25 to 100. Lovely people like Quaker came along and helped us, and other big companies.
Well, your background in business, you basically rinsed your contacts book, because when you started this, you thought, oh, local authorities will help me out. You know, this is beneficial for them. But it wasn't as easy as that. You've only just made the breakthrough with government.
Well, exactly. And, you know, this is crazy. I'm the least qualified person to be doing this. Your mum's working, your dad's working, they're not there. In any one classroom now of 30 kids, 9 are in
Do you think things have gotten worse since you started up Magic Breakfast? Just in terms of the number of kids that need a breakfast, the number of children, as you say, who go to school hungry. I mean, to me, it's a no classroom. I mean, I suppose what I'm saying is, do you feel like you...
Tax money in. That gives us the money to go into 1,775. We would invite schools to look at the Family Action website, to go to my Twitter, @MagicCarmel. If you know of a school where there's children going to school hungry, please get in touch, because right now...
You've seen the benefits of what you do.
Boost towards me saying, let's feed these hungry kids.
We hope so too. Carmel, remind us of your Twitter handle if people want to get in touch with you, whether they're businesses or schools.
Yeah, it's @MagicCarmel.
Well, congratulations, all your hard work. It is paying off. Like you said, getting some government money. This award as well, which I'm sure is a byproduct, and you said it's for your team, but put it on your mantelpiece. You deserve that, Carmel.
It's a big boost. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you as always. Right, so we are going to take a look at the weather now, and Nazanin is here.